Okay. Let's find Timothy. Right? Hi. Hello. Trying to get Timothy connected. Might just be a moment. There's Timothy. Hey, Sharice, how you doing? Hello, hello. I love that you can wave at people on lives. That just makes me happy. Timothy, let me know that you got my invitation to join the live. Hopefully it pops up somewhere for you. How's everyone doing today while we wait for everything to get set up? Here we go. Live.
There we go.
There we go. See, that wasn't so bad, right?
No, not at all. And see, I can wave like old school. How are you? Do I look
Good. How are
okay
you
here?
doing? I
I'm
know.
so tall, and yet I
trying to get
seem
in.
so short in this frame here. So
I need to
I'm
back up
actually a
my camera a
giant for
bit.
everybody who doesn't know me. Yeah. Hi.
We'll get situated. We'll get adjusted.
Yeah. My hair looks good though, so we got to take credit for something.
Yes,
So
it's amazing. Very handsome.
yeah,
Very nice.
that's right.
So how are you doing
How's your
today?
day? I'm wonderful actually. So it's a good day. It's hot, but if you stay inside, you get to avoid all of that.
Yes.
So,
How hot? Because you're in Texas now, right? So how hot is it
yeah.
over there?
So I think I'm legally required to say it's a dry heat, but it's not. No, it's not Florida humid, but it's you definitely feel it
Yeah,
for sure.
it's hard anytime you talk to somebody in Florida because you
I
were in
know.
Florida for so long. Everyone's like, but is it humid though?
Yeah, as a recovering Floridian, I know exactly what you're talking
Yes,
about.
that's always the
Yeah,
argument every single time.
yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Cool. So
So,
how are you?
thank you for
It's a
coming. I
pleasure.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
We're interviewing Timothy for our hashtag Support Creators Week 2021 for Crafter. My name is Patricia, if you guys haven't followed the page yet. And we'll be interviewing Timothy and learning about him and all his art. And I absolutely adore your background already. I'm just telling you
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
All the
We'll
things.
pretend I haven't been dusting all morning because it's too much to dust.
Okay, this was supposed to be fun. You didn't have to get
Oh
all,
no, no, it's
you know.
fun. Listen, it's an excuse. I'm a guy in my 30s. I need an excuse to clean up after myself, so I
There you go.
appreciate you. So
Nice. So, some background. I actually have known you. I was doing the math. It's been over 20 years that we've known each
yeah,
other.
yeah, it's been a minute. I had to think, but I think I was 13
It was it
probably at that
well,
point.
no, because I think I
13
met
or
you.
14.
I didn't meet you in middle school. I thought I met you in high school. Did
I
I
don't
meet you
remember
in
when
middle
I
school?
started high. No, because I think we met. So we went to performing arts school
Yes.
together back in Orlando back in the day,
Yes. Yes.
and I think if memory serves me right, we met during like the audition process
Oh
for
my
like the
gosh, we
actual
did.
program.
So even
Yeah,
longer.
even a little bit
We
longer.
did.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I played violin all through all of everything. Did you
yeah,
always you played trombone? Was it
yeah,
trombone?
yeah.
Yes. Was it the
Because I'm
whole
the
time
weird
or did you
kid.
change
Yeah.
what instrument?
Well, no, no. I mean, I picked up other instruments just because I wanted
Yeah.
to be, multifaceted or whatever the phrase is. Fancy. I know. But no, I was like, I want to play music. I was like, I want to play music because my voice hadn't changed at that point. And then I was like, what's the weirdest possible thing you can play? And they didn't have an accordion class, so I picked up trombone.
Oh my
So
gosh. I can totally see you playing accordion. Why hasn't that
yeah,
happened yet? That'll be on
unfortunately,
your
so
list.
can I. So yeah,
That would be a fun instrument to pick up, honestly though. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd be coordinated enough, to be fair, but I think
I don't think I'd be coordinated enough, but maybe there's air guitar. Is there air accordion? Well, we'll have to see.
we'll
I
make
think
that
there's,
happen.
yeah. If the art thing doesn't work out, we'll we'll look at air accordion player as a backup profession.
So we met in Orlando in Florida,
Yeah.
but I was also looking, you've lived
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. I've been all over the place. So I'm originally from right outside Niagara Falls in Ontario.
Hmm.
Grew up there, spent the first 10 years of my life, then
Hmm.
moved down to Florida.
Right.
Yeah. So my father's company moved from Toronto down to Orlando, and then
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah.
the high
See, I'm a
school,
little
post high school.
jealous of like I have friends that have moved all over the like everywhere, and I went
Yeah.
from Orlando to Gainesville back to Orlando.
Listen,
I'm like, but my friends are here, my family's here, it's good. So we'll see if
well, yeah, I get heartsick for Orlando because if you watch the map of me moving, it's like you know Ontario, Orlando, fill in the blank, back to Orlando, fill in the blank, back to Orlando.
so you have
So,
to let me know when you come back so we can hang
oh
out.
yeah, it's an inevitability. I feel like so. I might be a little
It'll
bit
work
more
out.
gray by that point, but we'll see.
So you are also kind of like a jack of all trades, essentially, because not only music, but you do a little bit of everything. So I kind of want to touch
Right.
on some of all the
Yeah,
things.
yeah, let's go for it.
Cool. I know you sketch and you paint. We
I
talked
do.
about that before, but now, and I love. Have you started painting him already?
Yeah, yeah. I started the process, and so they're yeah. She's probably
Those are
talking about
wax heads, right? Are they wax? No. They're not wax. What are they made out of?
these two aren't, but I have a lot of wax heads that I'm kind of working on. So they're a little bit more of a durable material. Something that can probably go outside in the sunlight a little bit more.
Yes, they don't.
Kind of, yeah, or be dropped kind of thing. Not that I'm planning on dropping anything, but
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, I
So
would.
yeah, so Trisha brought it up. So about golly, 6 or 7 years ago, I created Waxipedia, which
Mhm.
is like the Wikipedia of wax. So it was kind of I grew up in Niagara Falls, where if anybody have ever been there, there's half a dozen like wax museums and then another half a dozen haunted houses. So I was like that little kid who grew up running up and down the hill, running inside the Guinness Book of World Records or Movie Land Wax Museum or Tussauds or Ripley's Believe It or Not kind of thing.
Right.
And so it's always kind of been this thing that's been in the back of my mind, and I had a unique perspective with it. A couple of years back, I was like working, I don't want to say a dead-end job, but a job that paid the bills, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need something more than that has a little bit more of me in it.
Yeah.
And so I created this thing online, and we got 1,000+ members on it. A
You
lot
have
of
a
them are.
lot of people that love that page. So,
And
for everybody who doesn't know, Waxpedia has a Facebook page, you have your own website, all the things, right?
yeah,
Okay,
well,
so check
we have
that out.
we have an official blog that needs a little bit of love, if I'm being honest with it, which is actually something I'm working on. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's been a little surreal because it's not just like, I won't say normal people because that's but
Who in the
there's
art
been a lot
community
more.
is normal, though? Let's be fair.
There have been a lot more like Academy Award winner, fill in the blank, or head of crazy insane attractions companies like
Yeah.
artistic design company who've been a part of it all. And
Yeah.
so that's been cool, but it's always just kind of been a pastime or something where I'm like interested in it. But it's kind of the basis that started is kind of veering into a new direction, which I might not be able to talk everything about at this point, but
Yeah.
it
It's
involved
hard
me
for me.
having I know it's hard for me too, but it involves me having heads sitting on a shelf and actively painting Terminators and Hitchcocks and everything else.
So
Yeah.
whoever is interested in watching this that enjoys anything like Wax Museum, I don't know if I'd go as far as, would you say horror-y? Like, can we say
Oh yeah.
themes? Are we allowed to
Oh,
talk about themes?
there's because I like to pretend I'm lofty, despite the Hawaiian print shirt. I refer to it as wax arts.
Yeah.
But basically what it is at its most basic, it's public portraiture. it's sculpture. I mean,
Yeah.
there are bad wax museums, there are haunted houses, and they serve a purpose. But like, there are good versions where it's like it's the equivalent of going to the Met or going to the
Yeah.
National Gallery levels of sculpture work. So
Oh yeah, because there's a huge difference. I mean, just from the sculptors that I follow on Instagram, you
right,
have everything from something to do for fun to, oh
right,
my gosh, I thought that was a photo of a person, and it's
yeah,
like it's crazy how detailed. I mean, hair,
yeah,
eyelashes,
it's crazy.
everything. And I'm
Yeah,
like, whoa. So yeah, I can completely appreciate that. That's awesome.
yeah. So that's kind of what's going on back
Yeah,
there.
very
Saying
cool.
something without saying something. So,
You always have something like going on, so that's why I was like,
oh
I gotta
god,
ask if
yeah.
you'll let me interview you because I knew there was
Oh yeah.
all the things.
There's always something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much.
So I am curious because, and I know you'll probably laugh at this. Have you ever drew something or made something for somebody and you got like a really nice feedback or compliment or like something happy that you were like not expecting at all? Because I'm just curious if you have a story like that.
Yeah, and actually along those lines. So I might have a different perspective than a lot of artists. You know, without going into too much detail, like my father was a sculptor, and that's kind of always been a contentious relationship kind of thing. And so there was always that mentality of there's only one artist in the family kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. And so art for me has always been, because I mean, it's a fire driven passion. I don't think you could find an artist who actually does art, especially a professional artist who isn't getting something out of it
Oh
on
yeah.
a personal level, even the ones who are like successful financially and stuff like that. And so for me, if I'm being completely like upfront on it, it's like anytime I get any level of a compliment, there's a certain part of me that goes, oh wow, maybe this is, you know, a good kind of thing. So
Oh my
I remember
God.
the very
Yeah.
first time, yeah, because I many a years ago when the hair was longer, the face was thinner. Uh, I was living in upstate New York,
Mhm.
and there was a teacher who was at the local community college, and we'd become like coffee friends. And
Mhm.
like she kind of finagled me into taking what was just like hobby paintings and go, you know, to the next town over and put them in a little booth kind of thing.
Oh,
And
fun. Yeah.
I pulled out of it, and it was surreal. I mean, it was a small booth. I'm
Still
not tooting my
though,
horn
like
too
still,
much, but
some
like,
people want to get
yeah.
any kind of sale. You know what I mean? Like some people are
But
like,
it,
man, I wish I could sell this. Why can't I sell my work? Kind of thing. So,
which I will tell you, that's a major part of why I'm so excited about what you're creating with Crafter, because honestly, it's like I can sit there and I can sketch and I can paint, but like above and beyond that, unless somebody like scams me into popping up a tent and sticking a bunch of paintings in there, and then you know trying not to be awkward
that
enough
is a
around people,
huge
they want to.
job. Can I tell
Yeah,
you?
it's massive. Yeah,
Yeah. Like you have to, I'm assuming, because I have never rented out a booth anywhere, but I'm assuming you have to rent out the space. And then my perspective is you just have to lug everything there.
yeah.
And I know that sounds so lazy for me, but I'm like, I
No,
mean,
that
I think if
it
you
makes
keep
perfect sense.
going, I think if you were to keep going and you like build that sense of community and like
Yeah,
same customers, that's a great experience. I'm not taking
yeah.
away from that. But in terms of how much work it is, I just feel like it's so much work. So much work.
But and yes, that's fine. But in that, the one-on-one interaction, like that's great. But you can get that working at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
You know, you can interact with people. The unique thing about what you're doing
Mhm.
is that there is a bigger picture potential of it nationally, internationally.
I can't wait.
Uh,
God.
I listen. Look, I'm thrilled. I'm not saying this because you're my friend, because we've had this. She and I have
I
had this
didn't pay him to
conversation.
say this.
Like, I'm Canadian, so I'm naturally going to be like super, super nice, just generally. But I'm also like brutally honest. And but like the exciting part is like I'm getting a daily dose of talent by being a part of what you're creating, and it's humbling on a certain level to see the quality and just the spectrum of the people who are becoming part of this thing that you're creating,
Yeah,
and
it's
then to
all
think
still
I'm part of it
following the
too.
page, and it's
No,
so
it's
cool
not.
because not only am what's funny is I'll find somebody and I'll like their stuff, I'll comment, this is great, this is
Yeah,
beautiful. They'll follow the page, and then I'll share their work
yeah,
essentially, and then I see what's cool about it is I admire the work. Like I guess for me, I was like, okay, I like this. But then
yeah,
I see other artists, like you're saying, commenting, oh, this
yeah,
inspires me. I can't, this makes me want to make something else. Like,
Yeah.
and I guess I never thought about it like turning into something like that. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So
Yeah, it is cool.
yeah.
So I'm watching my not my followers, but my follow numbers on Instagram going up ever
Oh,
since you started
oh,
this because I'm liking everybody. So
oh,
like,
that's nice. That's
uh,
good. And it does
yeah,
help when you have people around you that are also creative and also wanting to like lift you up and help you and be
right,
supportive of each
exactly.
other. People want
Yeah,
that. Like legitimate, not like there's a lot of follow for follow nonsense out there right now, and it's like,
yeah, it is what it is.
yeah.
I'm sure one or two or 100 of my followers have probably gotten there
Well,
accidentally.
you have
I'll
way
let
more
them
followers
stay.
than I do if we're
I'll
gonna
let
talk
them stay.
numbers, sir.
Yeah.
That's because you have your Waxipedia group that loves you so much.
We'll limit on that. Cool, but yeah. So yeah.
I am curious too, because another question that I had for you was if you had an unlimited budget, what would
Oh,
you work on right now?
we all know what it is. So
Well,
like if I
okay,
had
that's
an
fair.
unlimited budget. So like my my standpoint on creative expression or just in general is like anybody goes like, what are you? Like I've never been the guy who, because I've had a spectrum of jobs and I think there's a lot of people in the art industry who have had to have bill paying jobs. And so like I've never been the guy who works, the corporate headquarters of a major airline. I've never been the guy who's, waiter at fancy restaurant. I've always been, at least in my mind's eye, like a storyteller. And
Hmm.
so like I like I like to be an observer of unique stories and I like to be a teller of unique stories.
Hmm.
And so if I had unlimited funds, I would take all these things that I'm passionate about and tell a story with them. And I
Hmm.
like sharing things with people. Like this is awkward because talking about myself is it's taking a little bit getting used to. But like the reality is talking period is like a passion project for
Well, that's
mine.
why
So
I was like, he's gonna do great on this interview because you like
no,
talking to
yeah,
him. So I know he'll
yeah.
do.
I don't feel like I'm 3 feet tall in this image. I
I
keep on
know
trying
it
to
does.
stretch
It
it.
does feel kind of squishy, doesn't it? A little bit.
Yeah, kind of been. Yeah.
Um,
So, but yeah,
um,
I would probably have a place that you guys could pick up a brochure on and book a vacation around kind of thing.
oh, that sounds
So,
amazing. I think we
but you
could
don't
all
need
use a
all the money in the
vacation.
world for. Oh God, yeah. You remember those
Which ones?
vacations?
Oh,
I
no.
don't remember them all.
What is
I
that?
have some unique screensavers I've been staring at for the last year and a half.
Have you seen, gosh, it replays every time, so now I think it's like embedded in my brain. There's that commercial for Hawaii Airlines or something like that.
Oh
The guy's
yeah,
looking at the brochure and
yeah.
everything, and it's like, Mom, he's pretending he's in Hawaii again. I'm like, that's depressing.
Yeah,
Right there. So you not only do you have this, you have Waxipedia and you have everything going on with that. I know a lot of times you also, I'm sure you have a favorite artist because I knew, correct me if I'm wrong, but growing up,
okay.
were you the one that was really super into Disney? Walt
Yeah,
Disney? Yeah,
yeah,
weren't you?
yeah.
I
So
was trying
hey,
to remember, from last.
listen, I got the Wax Museum shelf back here, but I got the Disney shelf and the Disney
Yes.
storage unit down the
You were
street.
keeping me with
Yeah,
Disney, and I remember you were,
yeah,
but now, I mean, it's been a minute since I've obviously asked you this question. Is there a favorite
yeah.
artist or a favorite creator or somebody like now that you're like, I love them, like someone that you really
Oh,
like?
I mean, there's a handful of, you know, portraiture is always a passion thing. It's not just a wax museum thing because earlier, um, I just find like the human form and the differences in it like super fascinating. So
Mm.
anybody who can express that in a way that's a little bit different, I'm a big fan of. There's a sculptor named Stuart Williamson. He used to be the head of the sculpting department at Madame Tussauds in London. He did that for I think probably 20 years or so, and then it went independently. Met a woman, fell in love, and now he lives in Central America. But like he's taken the human form to like a level that it's kind of hard to like wrap your mind around. And then there's other
What
artists.
kind of medium does he work in?
He works well. That's the funny thing is he's a portrait artist who has worked with wax. He has worked
Okay.
with bronze. You can see his work like if you go to the National Independence Museum in
Okay.
Philadelphia. All of the founding fathers, and there's dozens of them. He did all of those. If you go
Oh,
to
okay.
the George Washington Mount Vernon estate. He's done all the sculpture work there. You can also see his work in like Capitol buildings and heritage centers literally all over the world at this point. So like he's a big influence. But like through Waxipedia, the funniest thing for me is like I've gone from fanboy in a lot of cases to friend. And so,
awesome.
you know, yeah, one of my favorite artists is actually one of my closest friends, Mark Pedro. He's based out of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. He's he's as an eccentric a character as I am, to put it lightly. So
okay, so the two of you together.
Oh golly, the two of us together almost ruined a couple of my relationships in the past because we just disappear for 15 hours and run our mouths. I've literally lost my voice from having talked to Mark so long that I couldn't talk for 2 days afterwards because I talked too much in a day, kind of thing. But you know, anybody who can basically take nothing and turn it into something by just using what's in their head and in their heart, kind of thing. Like I'm envious of that. And all that. Yeah, it is.
It's amazing because I mean that's something that I'm definitely envious of because the extent of my artistic ability is my cartoons. That's it. My stick figure cartoons. That's it. People enjoy them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
So if you can like some
you gotta find your lane, like, and if that's your lane, then that's even better. So
I just like making people laugh. So I would always take situations that made me laugh or like, you know, especially in school, you know, I would think of things that, you know, oh, this is hilarious. I'm going to make a little comic strip about it, give it to my friends, you know, make them laugh about it or whatever. And that would just, humor and that kind of thing fuels everything I do usually creatively for the most part. So
yeah.
if it makes me laugh, sure, you know, so that's as far as, that goes. Now, we did touch on this a little bit a second ago, and it was kind of vague. And I know it's kind of, you know, to be continued should be like, but you're also working on Timothyland Studios, which just makes me happy. And
because it's a silly name. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, so
I want to pass it Studios or Patricia.
Go
I guess.
For it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, so it. Like I said, talking about myself is something I'm uncomfortable about, but talking period is something that it's so like if I had a pastime, if I have a hobby, running my mouth is the top of that list. And so Timothyland Studios is kind of, and it is a work in progress. So, but it is a way for me to take that storytelling that's not just a painting or a portrait or a sculpture piece and try to express stories in a different way, using maybe a medium a little bit more akin to this kind of thing. So I don't know. Yeah. So just keep an eye on it. You know, if any of you decide you're going to end up following me, kind of thing, I'm sure you'll see announcements.
It's on YouTube, Timothy, right? YouTube or
Yeah.
So check out Timothyland Studios. I love the idea, and I know you might not yet feel comfortable about it. I love the idea of you doing more YouTube videos. That makes me happy because anytime you do any kind of like video on Facebook or at YouTube, whatever it is, I'm like, I see you.
Yeah. You getting other people to see me too. That's the important part, which is why you're so important. Like, art is like this thing that I've always kind of put on the back burner, and like, the more I think about it, the more I look into it, the more I'm trying to. COVID happened, right?
Yeah.
So COVID made the world a complicated, difficult place, and I think, above and beyond just the realities of living through a pandemic, I think a lot of the more in touch people are going to be changed in different directions because we went through COVID and what that kind of meant. And I think, you know, I'll tell you, you hop on any news thing, they talk about the people who aren't going back to the office, the people who aren't going back to those other jobs. I'm one of those people. You know, I had a good job. Everybody told me it was a good job, kind of thing. And I did the 9 to 5, which in reality was more like 9 to 9 every day. And it got to the point where it was like, what makes me happy? Creating art makes me happy. Telling stories makes me happy. But how do I stay responsible to landlord and electric and, you know, And so being able to find a way to take my passion project and turn it into something that supports me more than just emotionally and creatively, like that's the hard part. And the great thing is like, talk about fate and destiny. Like, your passion is to create that medium that wedges those two, that like fits right between those two things. And I have no idea.
Yeah.
I love to toot my horn and think I'm super smart and all that stuff, but like, I would have no idea what to do what you're doing.
Listen, it has
Yeah.
been, I'm going to say adventure because I've heard journey so much.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say adventure because I started with, okay, here's this idea, rattling around my brain, and I've had support of, I can't even tell you how many people that are smarter than me along the way that have helped me put my brain on paper, which was a mess. It's busy in there. So it was one of those things where I have to say that it's been an absolute team project because, you know, people will tell you as an entrepreneur when you reach out and you're like, should I make my own website? Should I do as much as I can on my own? Because financially it is an investment.
It's a huge investment, yeah.
Huge investment. And so, you know, what can I do? How can I do it? All of this. And at first I thought, well, let me see how much I can do on my own. I know my limitations on technology and how all that works. So what I did was I was like, I'm going to start reaching out to who knows who, you know, because I'd rather connect with people that I, you know through word of mouth. That's really important everywhere, I think. Who can help it, you know, who can help me, who can make this into something really, really good. And I'm really excited to say that the developers have showed me the website. Like, it's really close. It's so close.
Yeah.
And it's exciting because you'll be able to keep everything together. You know, where you have your profile, you have all your current invoices and quotes and everything, and you can communicate with who you're working with, and it's all together. And I'm like, I'm really hoping that this is I know there are people excited because they'll message me and be like, oh, we can't wait till this launches. We're looking forward to it. But I just really, once the beta launch happens, that's going to be the real, the real test.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I got to save it on my calendar. Like, that's the God's honest truth. Like, the day before, I'm going to get a reminder. Like, I got to check.
You're so nice. I love you. Thank you. That's very nice. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we do this giveaway? Anything I missed?
No, I think you covered everything. Yeah. I was so nervous. I don't want to.
You were, and I don't know why, because I knew we would just talk like we did.
Talk like we've known each other for 2 decades. I'm gonna need a therapy session.
I'm like, I'm not saying what year.
But in my heart, I still feel like I'm not even hit the 2 decade mark.
That's what I'm saying is I was looking at it and I'm like, it has not been that long. And I was like, it's been that long.
It's been that long, yeah. It's crazy.
Because I'm still thinking about how, like, you know, in high school or whatever, we bump into each other in the hallway and talk and stuff. Yeah. Now I'm like, oh, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute, yeah.
We don't need to talk about that part, though.
No, we'll skip it.
We're still young at heart, right?
There's a follow-up interview down the line. We'll cover it at that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Later.
Later.
That's a future problem. That's a future issue. Okay. So, as part of hashtag Sport Creators Week 2021, we are going to look at who has been viewing this. I'm going to write everybody's name down. I'm going to draw it from. It's not the most efficient way to do it, so we got to talk about something while I write these names down, Timothy.
I'm going to show some pictures. So, ultimately, so you focus, I'll talk. So, ultimately, I think I like to sketch, I like to paint. To kind of keep it easy, I'm leaning more towards let's do some kind of sketch kind of thing. So, as I've said before, big fan of portraiture. So, it can be of you, it can be of a friend, it can be of something general. But if you're that lucky wiener, just, send me a message, let me know kind of what you're interested in, we can go from there.
We are going to have you, whoever wins, please send Timothy a message. You guys can brainstorm about all the things. He does a really good job drawing people and animals.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about that phase of my life where I was like, I want to be a zookeeper, and then tried to do it.
Oh, but see, that's why I love you. You haven't, like, you're ambitious about a lot of things. You know what I mean? And it's nice. I don't know. Some people have no ideas in their head. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, well, as the guy who has too many ideas in my head and getting my 3.5 hours of sleep a night.
Well, I think if I had to choose
Yeah.
between too many ideas and no ideas. All right. So I'm going to close my eyes here. I'm going to pick a piece of paper. It's really official.
I'm gonna close my
Pieces of paper here.
listen. I'm gonna close my eyes too. We'll make this a team sport, okay?
Okay, all right. I'm going to close my eyes here. I'm going to shuffle these. La, 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 la. All right, who wins? Oh, Pat Ron, Country Living. Where are you?
Oh,
You won. You are the winner tonight.
or snaps.
Hooray! Are they on still? Hold on, let me make sure. Duh. Yay! We're so excited for you guys. So please send Timothy a message about. So wait, you decided on a painting or sketch or what? You're gonna figure that out with
Let's
them?
do a sketch. Yeah. Let's lean more towards a cool sketch. If I feel ambitious, I might paint the sketch. We'll see.
Oh, all right. So to be continued on that too.
Surprise.
A lot of surprises on the horizon. Yay! I'm so excited. So thank you for all for coming. We have what we've done. We have 5 more interviews left throughout the rest of this week. Every night, 8 o'clock. Please come join us. And thank you so much, Timothy, for.
Thank you for this, and thank you for everything. I really mean it. It's exciting to be a part of something that I know is heading in a really cool direction, and so
thank you.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I'm excited for you, but I wish I didn't have to be so cryptic about all of it.
We'll have another interview in the future.
Yes. Is that a promise? All right, promise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, all right.
I'll take that.
Well, bye everybody.
Bye. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.